I'd like to thank our Holy God, our Heavenly Holy Principal Creator, Father, Mother God, for allowing us to come together in this way and for allowing this communication to come through from Spirit. We're recording this today on the 20th of June. It is the solstice, the winter solstice here, and in a couple of hours it's full moon, and of course we officially now in the sign of Cancer, so it's a whole new energy that's coming through. I call upon the 9 beings of light that works of our energy field, each individually and collectively, and us here as a group, and wherever you may find yourself, to place this protected grid around you, as we call upon and invoke the essence of Lord Metatron, Archangel Michael, Lord Jesus the Christ, Archangel Ariel, Lord Ganesh, Lord Melchizedek, Lord Maitreya, Saint Germain, and Lord Kuthumi. To protect us against all negativity projected towards us by any and all beings, consciously and unconsciously, incarnate and discarnate, from the north, the south, the east, the west, from above, from below, as also from within, to ground us within the light of Christ, so that at any and all times we are fully grounded, fully protected, and fully connected. To bless us with His Excalibur sword of truth, so that our truth always is and stays our communicating and motivating force of light. We call upon our guides, those that we know are our guides, and we also invite guides that we are not very familiar with to make themselves known. We call upon our doorkeeper guide to step forward. We call upon our healing guide, our master guide, our teacher guide. We call upon the 12 beings of light who are there to serve us as our personal guiding force, our personal team, specifically with healing and guidance and protection and teaching. And we ask these beings to step forward and to make themselves known to us, to create a circle of love around us, to hold each of us within the presence of this divine energy, and therefore to create a massive portal of light within and around us, creating a stairway to heaven and, of course, the stairway to earth. As above, so below. As within, so without. We call upon our star brothers and sisters and those from the realms of light beyond this one to step forward, as we ask these beings to connect with us and to hold us in their divine presence and to envelop us in their love. We call upon and give thanks to the essence of Gaia, our beloved earth, Thank you for allowing us the fleet visit of another incarnation, allowing us to live on her, to breed on her, to breathe of her, to feed of her. As we hold her essence in our heart, we call upon the essence of Ascended Master Kuthumi and Goddess Diana, as we ask their essence to step forward and to bring through the message for this evening or for today, as we ask that all that is shared with the greatest of integrity and truth. Visualize a beautiful portal of light opening up above us, stretching into the heavens and descending deep into the earth. Visualize from your crown chakra a cord of light that envelops you, your entire being, stretching up into this tunnel of light. Visualize yourself in a beautiful violet flame. Encase that in the emerald flame. And then extend that energy into the earth through the ruby flame. Just relax and float into this. I am Kuthumi, and I come forward upon the rays of love and wisdom to greet thee at this time, and to gift unto thee a divine blessing of enlightenment and inspiration. Greetings. Beloved beings of the light, beloved masters, we indeed ask you to keep this frequency that this channel has suggested, to for a moment reconnect that energy, that love, to extend that way beyond your energy field into the seat of creation, that beautiful violet and emerald frequency, and to encapsulate that within the beautiful ruby ray, and to anchor yourself deep into the core and into the heart essence of Gaia. I will share this evening a message of deep love and a reminder of divine connection, and to remind you to keep yourself within that divine connection. And because of the despondency upon your planet, and again felt within most of the humans on your planet, and the challenges that you face, I must reiterate that the power of love and the divine source of protection and enlightenment is what you need to remind yourself of. A long time ago, in your years, I heard a little cry. And it was a cry for help. It was a cry for guidance. And it was a cry for assistance. And through time and months and years of hard work and dedication, the essence of those cries formulated very deeply within the divine essence of spirit and the world beyond worlds. For you see, it's like the cement that keeps the bricks together, or perhaps the gaps between the synapses. The more the messages came out, the more the intent behind that grew. And of course, because this planet and all other planets and all of existence, rather, must, has to, and will infinitely adhere to the laws of the universe. The law of cause and effect had to bring through what was desired and what was needed. And so the little cry became deeper and more intent. And of course, with that, a far-reaching listening developed, a far-reaching connection to it. And the person asked on the other side of that essence, but what do I do to start this? And our reply was, be in the space of the now, for only within the space of the now are you able to acknowledge your present reality and at the same time purely and fully project that which you wish to create or which you wish to manifest. And then the person said, but how do I do all this? And we replied, listen. You listen. And the person said, we listen to what? And we replied, you listen to yourself first. Once you are able to tune your inner ear to such an extent that you can actually formulate your thoughts without going on a tangent because your thoughts are formulating you, then that is when things can start moving on. That is when you can start creating a foundation, and then you can build things around that. But that initial still point, that initial quietness within the self, beloved ones, must be discovered, must be adhered, and must be honored for you to be able to explore further or more. This person then asked, okay, so how do I start all this? And we replied with suggestions and a formula. And then this person asked, and we replied, you wait. And of course, being completely over the top and in all honesty and respect, a complete control freak at the time, the person went completely overboard. Completely. Until the time came for her to get back into her inner ear and listen. And that's when we decided, as an essence, to lean down for the last bit of the way and to stretch our energy field into her, for her to be able to deliver and share messages such as this. I'm giving you that quick story or that analogy, not just as a reminder for her of her humble beginnings some 18 years ago. I'm giving it to you to make you aware that no matter where life takes you and no matter where you start off, it is never too late to start again. Beloved ones, life is so unpredictable. Your reality can change in an instant. The most important thing is for you to grasp the fact that you must stay within your now truth. And of course, as always, we suggest that you take time to connect with your inner and higher self. Let's put it to you this way. You would never have walked this journey of your awakening spiritual self if it wasn't meant for you to awake. You would have been like your neighbors and the masses that's beyond them. You wouldn't have been the person that you are to experience the things that you do. You did, and you are doing that because the journey that you chose is different. You have chosen to walk a different path. And the path that you have chosen are giving you options which are, in some and in many ways, a lot more challenging than the ones that may be presented to you through pathways that you have trodden through and explored until you were blue in the face. Pathways where the road is paved by the soles on your feet, and of course, pathways that are so worn from you walking through it. And therefore, the pathways that you walk through now are like a journey and a road less traveled. And that is your choice, it is your decision. You've come this time around to awaken. You've come to awaken to your own divinity and your own magnificence. And beloved ones, that in itself is a massive accomplishment. To even dare to walk onto a road less traveled. To even dare to set sail to shores unexplored. Do you think for one moment that the great explorers of your time knew 101% what was awaiting them, or if anything, or any place? No, they didn't. That's what made them explorers. You are spiritual explorers, and therefore you have chosen to take on the journey of discovering and rediscovering the self. For you come to understand that the journey that you are on, the more you learn, the more you realize that you have been here before. The more you learn and discover, the more you realize that there's a greater picture to all of this, and therefore there must be a far greater and expanded understanding of what life is all about, and the choice to live and be in the human skin one more time. Beloved ones, those that have, and in many ways, made it their pledge to live according to the frequency of their currency, face turmoils in a different way. Those that have chosen to walk a much narrower path, yet to discover forests and beauty in nature and spiritual life, and in their journey, in their essence itself, understand that that projection is way bigger than they can ever dream or try and portray or explain or share with another. For these things only happen to you when they happen. And unless they've happened to you as a human earth soul, you cannot explain to someone else what true awakening feels like. As in many instances in life, the only way to truly know what it's like to understand a certain concept is to experience it. And therefore, it is very important to remind yourself that what you are going through is a series of experiences, some extremely challenging and others not. Some extremely emotional, while others demands more of a mental concentration. But the overall picture of that is a spiritual view far beyond that which you can explain to another unless they've experienced it. So like this channel came to us initially and said, how do I start? Where do I start? And we said, be quiet and listen to yourself. And then eventually when she asked, so how do we do this? And I, Kuthumi, gave her the formula of activating the 9 beings of light, which I've given to her. It was channeled through one of my other channels at the time, to her in person. And I told her, you don't know where to start. This is the formula, start here. But from here on, beloved sister, there is nothing that we can do to push you in a direction if you are not going to lean into it. And then she did. So what I'm saying to each of you here, present, and the vibrational frequency that I and us as a group, as the essence of Kuthumi, blend into every word, so that when these words are shown to read from, be it from a monitor or a paper, or whether you hear them again in times to come, you too, dearly beloved brother and sister, will feel the frequency of what we mean. So be quiet, be still, be in the now, listen into the inner ear, trust your intuition, and reach out to your team. Not so long ago you were given 12 masters to work with. Has any one of you called upon them for anything? Not so long ago, we have introduced the New You meditation, and many have experienced the frequency of that, but in sections. We've never done it in full, not since 6 or 8 years ago. But we are in the process of doing it again, this time with a bit of an upshift. Beloved ones, unless you pay attention to yourself, and unless you make time for yourself to be within your quiet space, and unless you honor the inner self to make time for quiet time, to quieten the mind, to take control of the mental and the emotional fields, things are going to go haywire. You need to apply to that, and you need to commit to that quiet time, because that quiet time eventually will become your best friend. For that is, as I have made mention of many years previously, you can stand on the busiest street corner in the very center of New York City and hear nothing. Now that's the commitment and the dedication that the inner ear gives unto you. And then when you allow to expand your energy field beyond that, you begin to grow, and your spiritual energy or tentacles begins to expand. And then eventually when you start working with your energy field and you start tapping into the frequency and the vibration that you, every single one of you, are able to, that is when things begins to shift faster. And we will bring some of that into the activation in a moment or so. Beloved ones, it's all about the essence of love. For you cannot change anything in your world unless you make friends of yourself. As we've discussed, you cannot release anything from yourself unless you learn to dance with your shadow. Which is the very reason we have taken you through to experience the essence on the other side of the moon, on the darker side of humanity, and of course, the shadow self, which we have introduced you to, which we have suggested you embrace and invite it to come and face you in the mirrors of your making. So once you are able to bring these vibrational frequencies into an understandable space for yourself, the world truly is your oyster. Beloved ones, we've taken you beyond the golden pyramid, through the golden door. We've taken you through the waves and the waters of the cosmos. And we have taken you as far as we can, for now, to tap and touch onto your higher self. It is within this quiet time and the spending time and listening and meditating on the essence of the inner ear that these things are revealed to you, and that connection becomes stronger and stronger. And as you very well know, that is how you form the bridge of consciousness, the rainbow bridge, the antakarana. That is how you form these energies, is through devotion and dedication. And unless you devote your time or some time and dedicate some of your essence to the deeper discovery of the inner true self, it's not going to happen. So many times we hear you call for help, but you never truly ask. So many times we listen to your cries and your tears of sadness, waiting for you to turn that into enlightenment and tears of joy by letting go of the sad issues, letting go of the past, letting go of the control of the past, letting go of all of those things that drags you down. We understand it is not easy. As I've mentioned previously, I may not have faced the same challenges as you are, but I've been onto this planet. I have lived through many a lifetimes, through very diverse cultures and experiences. And although it was a very different time, where things are different, were different to what they are now, beloved ones, we all experienced pain, lack, sadness, and joy in similar ways. So as you step through onto this beautiful bridge that extends its frequencies and its ways of love, inviting you to walk across it, acknowledge your space, center yourself, anchor yourself into the now moment of acceptance. And once the acceptance is there, you will find that the challenge changes. For the threat is no longer there. For the acceptance allowed that, no matter what you face in life. We have taken you through the keys and the codes of the ascension chakras. Beloved ones, as we've said previously, there is nothing set in stone. So for those of you and those across the world, across your globe, that do follow the work that we teach through this and other channels, will come to understand that the overall picture given to you is one of flexibility, is one of molding the self into the best it can be for the self. And the only way it can do that is to express its authenticity. You've been through it. And therefore, as we suggested with the 144 ascension chakras, is to get specific keys and codes, keys and senses, and to work with them. And within the base center, the very first key is acceptance. For that is the basis of everything. For once you are able to step into acceptance, then, and only then, are you able to start looking at ways of nurturing the self. Only once you start nurturing the self, because you've now started to accept yourself and your situation, and you've made it in the best that you can be, through nurturing it, are you authentically able to express yourself in that process? The process that through acceptance you are now nurturing. And through that nurture, you are able to express yourself authentically as an individual. You are able to begin to separate, as you say, the men from the boys. Because through growth and understanding and development and empowerment, you will begin to discover that there's so much in that particular arena of your life that only when you begin to get to live and express the authenticity of your power, and you understand that the way forward for you in any given situation is to share this with others, to empower others, only then, and then only, are you able to truly begin to understand or take a glimpse of unconditional love. For if you're stuck in the lower essence of the heart, there's going to be victimization, which immediately is going to take you back to the first arena of consciousness, in the base. If it's not victim consciousness, it's going to be consciousness of lack, poverty consciousness, and bang, back you are right at the beginning. For you, the nurturing and the authenticity was unable to keep the flow of the essence of unconditional love a probable reality and a definite possibility once you can rise up from those ashes and become the phoenix again. How do you do that? How are you able to do that? Beloved ones, here and now I will tell you, you need to stop blaming yourself. You need to stop blaming situations in your life for the situation that you are in. The only one responsible for anything in your life is you. But because you have accepted that reality that you are creating for yourself, doesn't mean you need to blame yourself for it over and over and over and over. By all means, go through a process of working with the self, working through various issues of the blame or the supposed blame that you feel, the places, the times, and the periods, and the opportunities in your life where you feel you created more lack than anything else. Go through a forgiveness process and then let it go. Stop blaming the self. Stop judging the self. Stop creating conditions around the self. And once you are able to do that, go through the entire forgiveness process. And as I've said, if not a million times, a gazillion times before, go through the process of forgiving others. Go through the process of forgiving others. And forgive yourself what you've done to them. You must understand that almost all issues relating to what I've mentioned thus far finds their foundations within the formative years of your life. Up to the age of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So many of these issues are so deeply embedded that you don't even recall them. Yet, when you think about them, you know. Your body registers, you've got good goose flesh, as you say. The hair stands up on your head. You remember things. That is why, by walking the conscious path of the awakening spiritual warrior, these are the things that has to be lifted out of the mud for you to be able to smell and enjoy the flowers of what you've created. So, and the reason why I mentioned unconditional love is because love in itself is in essence with conditions according to humanity. And to try and teach them otherwise can be rather challenging at most times. For the concept of love in the linear expression of your words and the terminology you use on this planet is completely different to the true understanding of the deeper and inner essence of the truth behind love. Love has no opposites. Hate is not the opposite of love. According to you, in a linear world, it is. What we call love is in essence undescribably divine and totally sublime. It's an essence that is everywhere. it is the breath of God. If it wasn't for the love within its frequency, none of you would be here. Therefore, to preach, to focus on love, sometimes falls on deaf ears. For the understanding behind that, behind the concept of love, is so different from human to human. Because love in its frivolous form can have hate as its opposite. But love in its true intensity, in its origin, is unconditional and has no opposites. Therefore, the codes of respect are anchored in the heart. Therefore, it is only through compassion, once you've accepted it, you've nurtured yourself, you're authentically yourself, it is only through compassion that you can then allow yourself to face your doorway of trust and truth in the throat. The next arena. And as always, there has to be a split in the path. The only thing here is there's two splits in this road. Not because there's two concepts or two keys, trust and truth. But the double edge of this sword, or the double flame as we've anchored that energy, is for you to always be able to follow yourself so authentically, unconditionally, that you can allow another the gift, the honor of following theirs. So that you can honor your truth and your trust, but you can allow another the gift of following theirs. Once you are able to step through that spiritual doorway, something amazing happens, because you are once again reminded that for you to be able to experience anything beyond that, to go above and beyond that, you need to be able to have everything that I have made mention of thus far in check. So, have you accepted your situation? Did you nurture it? Are you authentically expressing yourself? Do you follow compassion? Have you discovered the higher inner essence of love? Are you actually looking onto the horizon of unconditional love? And if so, are you able to trust your truth? And in so doing, are you able to give that gift onto others so that they can trust and live their truth without interference? And then, and only then, through the bottleneck squeeze of that spiritual doorway, beloved ones, are you able to ascend and create a deeper inner sight. And that deeper inner sight will give you inspiration for you to move on up. How do you get the inspiration? Through the whole formula, the whole process. How do you get the inner sight? You get the inner sight by listening to the inner self through the inner ear, as I explained in the very beginning of this transmission. Surrender, step back, and listen. There beyond, you step into unity and knowing. For once you are able to enjoy that inner sight and inspiration, for you've accepted it, you've nurtured it, you've expressed it like you can and only you can through your authenticity. You have compassionately given it every bit of love through forgiveness and non-judgment, letting go of the blame. You then bang onto the doors of truth and trust. You've opened it for another. You lit those flames. You've moved up. And unity and knowing is what then takes you further. Because there is unity in knowing. Not necessarily in 10 or 20 people, although there is. But beloved ones, this is about unity in knowing the self. When you know yourself, man, know thyself. That creates a unity in and amongst your energy field, your chakric system, your auric field, all of your other systems of light. And once you've got that unity in place of all of those divine systems that work together as one, then and only then can you ascend and rise and go above and beyond that. We teach these things, for these are simple formulas for you to apply in your normal everyday life, for you to be able to transcend yourself. So that you can experience the divinity and the connectedness beyond that. The divinity and the connectedness. Because once you've experienced the connectedness of your 8th chakra, your star, your soul chakra, and you are able to take all of the fragments of yourself and put them into one cauldron of your own making, which expresses yourself, then you must discover your divinity. You must. Then going beyond that, that is when you apply yourself to become an earth keeper, a light worker, a person that has now decided to do all this that I've mentioned, and then to become a keeper of the new earth in many, many ways. And as we've taken you through in the meditation, the keeper of the DNA and the keeper of the flames, beloved ones, each and every one of you, known or unknown, is a keeper of the essence of Gaia. Some or the other time, if not all the time, you devote time and energy and essence to carry her and help her, although she is a master in her own self. She's the host. She's your star. But through awakening, you as light warriors and light workers come to realize the part that you play for this beautiful earth. And she knows it. Beloved ones, she knows each and every one of you. She knows your tears, she knows your footsteps. She knows your gentleness, and she knows your intentions. And she's eternally grateful for that. But as I mentioned previously, she's in her ascending years. And if you are not going to fit and fill in and walk along and journey with her through these ascending years, she's ascending anyway, with or without you, as I said. So through unconditional love and service, you serve the earth. And that, beloveds, is something that each of you know. Each of you experience this through your animals, through the unconditional love that your pets show you. Now that's the unconditional love that Mother Gaia feels for you. And even when she shakes her feathers, there's still no conditions to that realignment. It is what it is. And through the laws of cause and effect, things are always the way they are meant to be. So once you experience that, you tap onto the truth and the euphoria of what an angelic and a spirit being is like. And that was the reason behind the meditation, one of the great reasons behind the meditation we've taken you through. For you to be able to experience in true essence what it is like to be beyond the limitations of this world. And once you are able to tap into that truth and euphoria, you then can move beyond that. And only then, once you can realize that, will you even be able to understand what an interstellar or a cosmic or a galactic presence is all about. Beloved ones, and as you climb up these arenas of consciousness, as this channel likes to say, you discover more and more about the self. But yet the essence of the self has to remain the same as the initial essence that created the acceptance to begin with. And then through that enlightenment, you eventually come to face the purpose behind it all. And that is the Christ consciousness within. That you face when you truly start working with yourself, far removed from the limitations of a 3D world. Because it's beyond that. And you have to be passionate to be able to reach those heights. And you have to be able to creatively express yourself to reach those heights. And you have to be able to express the self in all of those essence for you to be able to transcend the lower frequency into the higher. And only once you are able to work with the high essence and to gently begin to learn what it's all about, are you able to formulate and bring that back into the essence of your lower worlds, of your lower reality, for you to actually live by. Because it's only through free will that you will become passionate about everything. And you can only do that by expressing yourself creatively. And when you express yourself creatively, it awakens dormant cells, dormant DNA. Beloved ones, it awakens an essence, a part of yourself that you never even knew existed. It awakens the spiritual aspect which you so relate to, for you know that it's true. For if you didn't, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be hearing these words. You wouldn't be reading these words. And you certainly would not be feeling this frequency. So as I've walked you through your ascension chakras, understand that there's a method in all of this. But above all, you must stay true to the method of you. This journey is about you. It is about the choices you make, the decisions you make. And it's about your ability to transcend discordant energies into that which carries you upon the wings of love. Real love. Unadulterated, unconditional love. Tap into your auric field. Tap into your chakras. Tap into your star and earth chakras, which we will discuss still. Work with yourself energetically. And understand that no matter the situations that you find yourself within, hope always prevails. And if you continue to have faith in yourself, faith in all that is, you will begin to understand what a gift this life is, and what a fleeting moment it truly is. It's like a blink of an eye and it's over. And the opportunities and the experiences that you face within that blink, beloved ones, is almost indescribable. It is that big. And once you get back home and you stand and ponder upon this, you will realize that all it takes is a flick of a finger and all of that essence is over. Yet, what you've experienced within that is what you take with you and what you work on and work through. For that which you experience on a physical level, you can never truly on a soul essence level. You can't. So, apart from creating situations to uplift yourself, as you say, smell the roses, smell the coffee, Enjoy the journey. Enjoy what the processes give you. And if you find yourself unsure, insecure, and unable to face certain situations, bring yourself into the formula that I've just given you. And once you truly step into the acceptance of it, and you are able to nurture it, and you're able to authentically look at it and go through it, and without conditions, not blame, no judgment, step through, take your truth, take your trust, work through your inner side inspiration, go up into your unity knowing, and so on and so forth. Beloved ones, your world can only change. It can only change. So as you face this current time of stillness, with this very, very, very exciting energy of the full moon ahead of you, and this most beautiful time of balance within the stillness of the planets and your sun, at this particular time of the earth, take this time to ponder upon these words, and then take a bit of time to sit quietly by the self. And even if you find that your world is too confusing and busy for you to be able to not focus, excuse that, for that's what you need to do to meditate, not focus, and you constantly have to focus, then at least be kind enough to self to play some beautiful music for the self. For music will shift the frequency, it shifts the vibration, because it does. Beloved ones, we will continue with this in the next gathering, which we would suggest should be in July. And that's when we will continue with this message and bring through, perhaps for the greater part of that message, a wonderful and powerful activation, and tap on more on the meditation, the new you, for this channel is about to start sharing it, hopefully, someday soon. So we will begin not only to recap and reinforce that, but we will bring through activations working with the energy field also. So allow yourself to experience what you must, but never be so selfish to take the joy away from your world. And no matter where you are and who you're with or not, know that you can never be alone, for we are all one. And when you close your eyes to drift off into a heavenly rest, accept, anchor, and give thanks for the Christ consciousness within each of you. May the light of the living Christ be within you forever, always, in always. And as I said, know that not now or not ever can you be alone. I am Kuthumi. I am the Master and the Kohan of the golden rays of love and wisdom, and I greet and bless thee in love. Adonai. Thank you. I give thanks to Spirit. I give thanks to each of you for being here. Give thanks to our guides and guardians, to Kuthumi, to our planet and our holy God. And so be it.